Okay, so we are talking about the powers of I. So a power is something with an exponent, okay? You have a base and an exponent, that's a power. So if you have anything to the 0 power, that's going to be 1. And you can check that out. If you get this I that we talked about, you go second dot, right? And that gives you I. And then to go to a power, you just click on this, and that will give you a power on your calculator. It looks like a little square, a box, and then you put the 0. All right, and you get 1. Okay, and what that's telling you is actually anything to the 0 power is 1. All right, very good. And then now I'm going to do I to the first power. So I'm going to go second decimal, and then I'm going to take that to the first power, and I get I. All right, and that's because, again, anything to the first power, right, is that thing. Okay, so something to the 0 power is 1, something to the first power is that thing. And then if I square this, if I take I squared, that equals -1. And that's what we talked about when we first started talking about this. We said by definition, I squared is -1. All right, and what that means, like if you square root both sides, I by itself is the square root of -1. Okay, so now I've got I squared equals 1, and again, I can do that on the calculator. You can do second period and then take it to the second power, and that equals -1. So you want to be doing this so you're practicing, getting to know how to use the calculator. So I'm going to do I to the third power, and that gives me -I. Now, if you're getting weird stuff, remember you have to be in the mode of, you can't be in real, right? If you come down here, if you're in real, it won't do it. All right, it'll tell you that that's not okay. So in order to, what you do is hit mode and then arrow down to make sure you are in this A plus BI, that's that complex number form. Okay, I'll hit enter there, and then now it has switched over. All right, so I can use I's. All right, so I'll clear that. All right, and so now I have I to the fourth. All right, and so on. So that's how you enter in an I. Now, when you get to the bigger numbers, if I do I and I do it to the 7th power, you get this. And what this means is -3 times 10 to the -13th, which is 0.00000000000001203. So which is basically 0. And 0 minus I would just be -I. So, but if that's messing you up, what you can do is you go math, and then arrow over to num, and then go to I part, which is 3, and then you type in the I to the 7th. If I go up, is it not letting me go? Okay, I'll just type it in again. All right, so math, arrow over to num, and then go down to the I part, which is 3. You could just do that or type in 3. And then now I'll put in I, so second decimal, and then my exponent is going to be 7 to the 7th power. And notice now I just get the minus I part. It takes away this 0 part, this 10 to the -13th part. Okay, and so I get minus I. Alrighty. And then I'll do, I can do all these down here. All right, and that's what this is telling you in your notes. To get a power of I, math num 3. All right, so if I want to do I to the 47th, you just do math num 3, and then put in I to the 47th, and then that gives you negative I. All right, so for this one, I'll put in to do I to the 15th. All right, I'm going to do math, arrow over to num, and then 3. And then I'll put in I, the up arrow, and then to the 15th. And so that's negative I. All right, and so I'll just put in a negative I here. All right, and you do that for I to the 22nd. So go second. Oh, I'm going to do math num 9. So I'm going to do math over to num. Oh, and I always say 9, I mean 3. The I part. And then I'll do the I to the, and if this says to the 36th power, so I'll do 36. So that gives me 1. So this would just be 1. Okay, so hopefully you can finish those. And now these I'm just going to type in like it is. So I've got the square root. If you have these things underneath, negative 4 times negative 9 is 36, and then the square root of that is 6. All right, or I can type that in just like it is. So I have the square root of, I'm going to do negative 9 times negative 4. All right, and then I've got another parentheses because all of this is underneath the radical, and that gives me 6. All right, and then if I want to do this one, these are separated, so I'm going to do the square root. Oops. Square root of negative 4. Notice for the negative, you have to use this negative down here. You can't use the subtraction sign. So that's the square root of negative 4, and that's going to be times the square root of negative 9. And so that gives me negative 6. All right, and then you just type these in just like that. Now, when you get down to 4, you're going to get a decimal there. Actually, we decided we're going to skip this last row. All right, just do those first 3. Yeah, we didn't have time for that in class. So then just do this one. So I've got square root of negative 6. So second, and then hit the square key, and then do negative 6. And then that's times the square root again. Second, square root of negative 6. And that also gives me negative 6. All right, and we're just going to leave those down there for another day. And then now we've got our mode. We're actually already in this mode, I think. So if you click on mode, again, you in real, and then this is your complex number mode. And that way you can go ahead and type in all these just like they are. So I'm just going to type in 3 minus 4i. Plus, and then I'll do negative 5 plus 7i. And there's my answer. All right, negative 2. And then I've got plus 3i. All right, so these you just type in just like they are. and just put in your answer. Here I'm multiplying, so I'm just going to type it in just like it is, right? The 5i, right? 5i times 3i. And there we go. All right, so just type all those in. When you come down here, we did these in class. Remember what you do is you can just type in the square root of 16 and you get 4. And then the square root of -1 is I. All right. So now I'm going to simplify this expression, 3i squared. So I'll just type that into my calculator here. 3i squared is -3. All right, and you just type all these in just like they are. And again, this is just typing it in just like it is into the calculator. It just takes practice. And that was it for today. That is all we needed to remember about the powers of I and complex numbers. All right, so the next part is just to do the practice test. All right, good luck. Thanks, guys. Good job. Hope you're having a great class and a great day.